All right, we're rolling.
Yay. Valhalla 9.
Da 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 da
Look
da
at him.
da.
As soon as that camera's on,
You know, the Austin's whole thing just like clapped.
as soon as that camera's on, he is on. You know, like a light switch.
And then, after that happened, he stumbled off the deck and down into the river.
Then you have
It was hilarious.
Million views right there at YouTube.
I know.
Right?
Okay, so we're gonna do
That video's gonna go spiral.
What do you want to talk about? Spiral. Viral spiral.
That's
What do you
awesome.
want to
Get
talk
it?
about?
Old people don't know what the terminology. Hey, Blue Table fans! I'm here with Romeo.
It's like
Notice
attention-
I just made it my show.
It's the attention span of like a fly.
It's like a walnut.
It's like-
That's right.
So Shawn, how are we
Hey,
gonna?
what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey,
guys!
what's up? Hey, what's up? And behind Romeo, who you can probably only partially see, is Chad.
Hey.
He used to work as a model for GQ.
Yeah.
And
QG.
So my bank account doesn't reflect any of that.
QG.
He works for model AC
That was
QG.
like Kmart's brand.
Yeah, it's quality generics.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking.
Okay.
Let's move on.
All right, so we'll intro you in, and
I'm ready.
this is Valhalla 9.
So hold on. So my fans
Okay.
get to see the pregame show,
This is
but your fans
We'll see the
only
clean,
see
nice.
once it's
Yes. They'll
yeah,
still
oh, sure,
get your
clean
antics,
and
I
nice.
guarantee it.
That's what people want on the internet these days.
That's
Production.
right.
Yep, I go on YouTube for clean and nice.
Clean and
Production quality is what I'm
It's
looking
what
for.
it's what we're shooting for nowadays
On
at
YouTube.
40K radio. It's top-notch production level. Tell me about
Fantastic.
it.
So anyway, in case you guys don't know, this is Romeo. He owns Battlefoam and 40K Radio. And Romeo used to be a client of mine
Yes.
until
Here
we
we go.
did like one project with him,
You
and then
did
he's
four.
like, so Shawn, how do you do this? I'm like, well,
I
I
did
can't
not
really tell you. He's
know.
like, you know what? I'm just gonna figure it out myself.
All right.
And then like over the weekend, he's like, yeah, I just finished my whole army. I figured out how you do
In
it.
my defense, all right.
There's no defense. I'm
In
not
my defense,
attacking
he did
you.
4 projects.
I'm not
So he
attacking
remembers
you.
one.
Because I used to
I
paint
think
for him
that's
too,
fine.
and then I got thrown over with the Marlboro Man. So,
Marlboro.
because he came in.
No, he was.
Should we talk about Marlboro Man?
I'm sure.
No.
Yeah.
Just
He
don't
might
use his
see
name.
it someday.
We just don't use his name.
We don't use his real
But
name.
he'll be on. Oh yeah, so we can just use
Yeah.
the nickname. Okay, great.
But
So anyway, so I hope you guys enjoy. And all right,
Well,
I'm now going to become docile
all
and
right,
cooperative.
for a second only, I'm sure. Is this Valhalla 9 my 4th time I'm asking?
9.
It's 9. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
we did 5 last year, 5 this year.
All right. Perfect. All right. So 5, 4, 3.
Hey, 40K radio fans!
Oh my
This
God.
is Shawn Gately coming at you live from Valhalla, deep in the heartland.
Oh boy! So hi, listeners. As you guys heard, that is none other than Shawn Gately from the
I
wonderful.
just photobombed you on the radio.
You photo sound
audio
bombed me.
bombed.
Yeah,
Actually,
he audio
sound
bombed
you
me.
guys can actually still hear
Yes,
from
that.
that.
There is
Okay.
people swerving off the highway right now.
And
Oh my
And
God.
moments before, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be docile and cooperative
that's
now.
never gonna
That's
put
why I
a warning on
lulled
the
them
front
into
of
a
this.
false sense
Yeah.
of security.
Speakers may be blown during this
Yeah.
transmission. Lower your volume. No, but anyway, fans. So we have none other than Shawn Gately. His fame is mostly known for his amazing YouTube channel, where you just can't get enough of Mr. Gately.
That's right.
He also runs a very successful company called Blue Table Painting. You guys know it as one of our sponsors and takes care of the Hobby Hotspot that Chad is a major contributor to. And we are lucky enough to be at Valhalla number 9. And Valhalla number 9, or for Valhalla in general, for people that don't understand what it is what you would consider an all-inclusive gaming cruise, but without the boat. Right?
Right,
That's a
it's
good
my
analogy.
best fit.
It's
Yeah.
venue is important.
Venue is important. So what it is, it's a luxury home/mansion in the Utah mountains. And what Shawn and his crew have been able to do is kind of take the hard work out of gaming at these events. So you get fed constantly, ridiculous amounts.
Oh yeah.
Copious amounts of food and
Oh,
drink.
The human intestine. Can I talk about the human intestine for a
If
minute?
that is your wish, you may.
Oh, I wish. Is apparently 28 feet long.
Okay.
So we mathematically calculate the amount of food to actually pack that entire
So it's
intestinal
solid.
tract full.
So
Yeah.
it's okay.
You
So,
actually can't eat anymore and continue breathing.
And
There
what's
you go.
good is this house has like what, 6 bathrooms?
a lot.
Right.
Yes.
So you do
Yeah,
the
that's
math,
right.
guys. There you go.
You'll be-
American standard. suck down a baby dachshund.
Yeah, and then go and take a little poop break. So, not to get too gross.
I miss my baby dachshund.
There is gaming here too, outside of eating
Okay,
and
yes.
fattening up and being gross, as we
Yes.
are. There is a lot of gaming. So the cool thing about it is, unlike typical conventions and tournaments, you're not stuck with a schedule that is forced upon you by the coordinators of the event. And there's nothing wrong with a structured event system, but what Valhalla allows you to do is really enjoy gaming as what its purest form.
Right.
The beer and
The
pretzel
casual
mentality.
gamer.
The casual gamer that can have a competitive side. I mean, we've heard a lot of competitive
Right.
games here.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Well, it's the competitive part is actually the talking of shop.
it's
Like if
exactly
you go to a
right.
tournament, 15 minutes to get to your next round.
Right.
At Valhalla,
Hours.
3 hours and a meal, and
Yeah.
you actually get to sit down and talk strategy and talk army list
Yeah.
building.
And it gives you
and
the time
industry.
to rethink your moves too. You can
Right.
go back and discuss what your opponent did and discuss what you did and how you're going to change it, and then get them eating a nice little ice cream sandwich or something, and jump right back into it and replay that game again with the same opponent or someone
Well,
new.
I would say there's a competitive spirit here, but it's
Absolutely.
nobody's out for blood.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's a good time, but the games get hot. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, even with us playing Infinity.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, we've done some Infinity this weekend. So
Yeah,
just
they were up till 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
So the
playing.
hall doesn't close.
With
Ever.
our eye.
And then you walk 15 feet into your room.
you know,
And
pass
then in the
out.
morning, you get up, take
And
a shower.
breakfast is waiting.
Yeah, breakfast is waiting.
I miss
Yeah, well, it's-
all the bacon.
Oh, and by the way, the ticket is inclusive.
yeah,
You don't pay for stuff when you're here. No one's trying to sell you anything.
yeah.
You eat until you
You
can't
leave.
eat anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
eat
right.
till you leave.
So, Shawn, why don't you give like a typical rundown of a day's meals, just so these guys kind of know what.
Oh,
to get.
heavens. Well, I can just tell you my favorites. So
Okay.
this morning we came up, there's fruit, melon, cantaloupe, blueberries, fresh whipped cream
Strawberries.
made from real cream, strawberries, waffles. The hostess, Sarah, for this one, she was making eggs to order. So it's like kind of like a mild-mannered house party
Yeah,
where you've got,
And that's just breakfast.
you've got like 3 crew in the kitchen just to cook you stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that's breakfast. And then
breakfast.
we had barbecue.
Yeah, delicious
Hamburgers,
burgers,
hot
hot dogs, full
Yep.
spread.
And for dinner, you might have like Mexican night, Italian
I
night.
think the Italian night, Sarah was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
she's
maybe
making
more.
meatballs. These are
Yeah,
homemade.
meatballs.
Everything's homemade too.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the other thing. It's like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, it's just amazing. Like the kitchen crew, it's 3 wonderful ladies in there just busting butts and making delicious food, and they are awesome.
So, moral of it, guys, is simply put, it is an inclusive event of fun, and you are getting more than what you pay for. So, regardless of what budget you're in, there is some sort of amenity here that Shawn can work with you on getting you down here. In other words, once you get your ticket from wherever you live and you fly down here, he can work with you on a spot in the building that is going to fit just about any budget. And if you break it down and divide it by 4 days,
Right.
you divide it by meals per day,
Oh, yeah.
and divide it by fun, you will find that the value for the rooms is ridiculously in your favor as a customer.
Yeah, it's through the roof. And that's what we tried to do. Conventions are great. We love them when we go. But we thought, okay, is there another aspect to this which we could ramp it up?
Right.
In short, we cater to a higher quality of nerd.
That's right. Well,
Well,
it's where all
that's
nerds
just one
should
way
be.
of putting it. Yeah.
But it's where we all
by
should be,
means.
because we are in an industry that hasn't really had this. In most
Right.
industries, professional sports, movie industry, this is normal.
Yeah, they have a Masters at Pebble Beach. You go, and it's
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, golf. I mean, most industries, this type of pampering is common sense. In gaming, Valhalla is the first person, yourself, and first company willing to put up or shut up. In other words, you're happy and you're fat and you're enjoying time, or they're not going to even do it. And that's a big deal because, you know what, it's making a change in the industry in a positive manner where there's so many things in the industry that sometimes are looked upon as negatives. This is a positive thing and a positive change where you have an event that cares about your overall experience, not just your temporary experience, right? So a convention just wants you to play your game and get out. This is about play your game, let's eat together, let's break bread, let's talk, let's strategize.
We talked for like 3 hours last night.
I
Just
have a chat
talking
list.
business, industry,
chapped
right?
lips from this
Business,
conversation.
industry, gaming. What's the future of it?
Right.
And the other thing that's happening is that we're starting to bring out industry leaders to this, like Romeo. We've got other companies coming out. We have Mini War Gaming in October, Worthy Painting in October. We kind of just, we put some invitations out there.
Right.
Most people, they've already booked out for the year, but we're announcing a 2013 season by October tops, and we're already scouting out locations that are equal to or better, because we are capped at this particular place. It's 6,000 square feet, and we can have about 12 guests out here. Yeah. And the guest to staff ratio is really high.
It's
like
5
right
staffers.
now there's 6 staff here.
Right now, yeah.
For this Valhalla was a little light.
Yeah.
We have 6 guests.
Yeah, so
one to one.
Yeah. It's
there's
more
a staff here for each
You're
person.
literally weighted on hand and foot.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had to tell Sarah that it was okay. She didn't have to make something for me.
Right.
I got it, and
I'll rate the fridge.
man, it's just
She's
awesome,
got Italian blood in her too.
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
She's like, eat.
Yeah. Have some noodles.
Eat, Papa, eat.
Have some potatoes with that.
You're wasting away.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, guys, we encourage you to look at this as a potential vacation option. Significant others are very welcome.
I think that's also kind of the
because
operative
we're
word
doing
there.
it at a resort.
It's a vacation.
It's a
for
vacation.
gamers. See, cons, hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
And you can kind of try to make that into a vacation, sure. But this thing is truly a vacation. You come in and there is no hustle bustle. It's just totally like that.
This isn't something you would compare to Gen Con, okay? That's something that people have to understand.
But they have their strengths.
Of
the
course.
different types of things.
Yeah.
We're kind of doing like the opposite.
Right. Gen Con is a
Very few
place.
people.
It's going to be rigmarole the whole time. You're shopping. You're on your feet. You're walking around. You're running into things. You're seeing new items. That's an amazing event too. But at the end of the day, this is not like that. This is an event where you come in and you decompress. So if you have a tough week at work, a tough month, a tough year, if just family things have come up and you've just had a baby, or you're just getting over some other things, right?
Hold on, you just had a baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm off to Valhalla.
Well,
see you later.
Sometimes you need decompression.
Good luck
That's
with
all
all
I'm saying.
that.
The point is,
And by the way, that is
escape.
my advice to new fathers: make yourself scarce for about 3 months.
There you go. Right
That's
at the
right.
beginning.
Just pay the bills. Make sure the bills are paid, but find a
Go
different
Valhalla
place to
and
be.
live here. It's a 3-month retreat.
Yeah.
But
If my wife were here, she'd be rolling her eyes because
she'd be kicking our butts.
for our very first child, I was actually looking for a job and found one in another city.
Oh,
I was
boy.
like, yep.
I'll see you later.
I've really got to do this, honey. Wish I could be around for that.
But the point is, guys, seriously, check it out. It's going to be something that can be attainable by all of you to do the research and look at it, set the times up, get your plane tickets, and coordinate with the staff at Blue Table Painting. Now we're gonna jump off the Valhalla thing.
Yes.
And
People are like, come on.
So Valhalla's cool. We love it. We're here.
Yeah.
We're enjoying it. Now,
All right.
going into
I'm ready.
who created Valhalla, that is going to be Blue Table Painting. That is the core of the reason Valhalla exists, and the core is this painting service that has grown over the last 4 or 5 years.
We got 28 people now.
From a mom and pop, you doing it yourself
In
your
my
basement,
garage.
in your garage, to 30 people more or less staffed,
Right.
doing paintings that are sent all around the world
Right.
on a daily basis. Not an army a week, not an army a month, an army a day minimum.
Right.
And for a person that is right now staring at a box of gray models or a box of silver models, what's the steps? How do they go from box of silver models to joy and happiness, whatever amount of time later?
Right. Well, you send us the list of what you want done. You get a quote. Your list might also say, I already have these models, or I already have these models and they're assembled and they just need painting. You get your quote, you pay half down, you send your stuff in, and they go through our assembly department. They're checked off by 2 people. There's an assembly director and a painting director. They look it all over midstream, and then there's an art director to correspond with you. The painting director is during the painting process. You can always call or email and find out what's going on, and then you get final picks, pay the last half, and get them shipped out to you.
There you go. So if a person's going to do this process, they go to bluetablepainting.com, and that's where it starts.
gmail.com. is the
That's where the email
address.
is. But if they want to go to
The
the website to find out
is
who you guys are.
bluetablepainting.com.
Okay. So you guys know there's a link on our homepage if you guys want to link off of this. Blue Table's been a great sponsor of 40K Radio for a good year and a half now. So if you guys are trying to get to them quickly, go on to 40kradio.com homepage, click on their icon, and it will take you right there. Now, here's the really neat thing about it. You guys are launching something totally new and exciting in the next several weeks, if you haven't already. And this is have you given it the name, the Overnight Armies, the 24
Right.
Army?
We're not going to call it Overnight Armies.
Okay. You're working on the
We're
name.
doing, I'm just calling them pre-made armies.
Pre-made armies. So the concept behind this, Shawn, explain what the benefits are of this versus doing your own custom job.
Well, custom is great, and we still do that. I can't imagine a future where we're not doing that. But with pre-made armies, basically we're going to find competitive and fun lists, probably tournament-winning lists. We might do some hybridized ones for people that want something that's a little less cutting.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to make the armies. They'll be available to ship. They'll have an option to ship in a Battlefoam case. To start out with, we're doing every faction for Infinity.
There you go.
In fact, currently we're running so we don't. It takes a while to actually order models, assemble them, and paint them, and get them through, which we have to do to actually start this program. So it's at least 3 to 6 weeks off.
Got it.
Although we do have some studio armies right now, but they're just one-offs, unique creations. So anyway, we are doing a special right now with quick turnaround, free Battlefoam bag for an Infinity army.
Awesome.
So Romeo will put up the link for that.
Yep.
It's called the Infinity Beta Special.
There you go.
Because it's the beta bag.
Excellent.
Right?
Yep.
So you get 8 to 12 figures for a flat amount. You get the bag at no charge. They're painted to a high standard.
Very nice.
Okay, but anyway, pre-made armies, brilliant idea. And that is basically starting with Necron's Imperial Guard and Grey Knights.
Beautiful.
We're just going to have armies ready to go. So you get on our web store, you find the army you want, and you order it, and it goes out right away. So a little bit of instant gratification brought to something that usually takes weeks, if not months.
Right. So this is, for listeners out there that are trying to comprehend realistically, obviously, you guys, some of you already know what we're talking about. But what this is kind of like is if you were going to Walmart and you're going to walk down the aisle and pick something off the shelf that appeals to you, a video game, a TV, a pair of towels. This is the same concept. You're going to go onto the Blue Table Painting store. You're going to search under, at first there's only a few options, but as this grows and you guys get the work done, they may be something under every faction to choose from.
That's our goal.
That's the goal. So, for instance, I want to be I love the new Necron models. I want to buy a Necron army. I don't want to wait. I don't want to send you a list. I don't want to deal with that. I don't have time for it. I just want the thing that I just saw at Adepticon or at DualCon or whatever convention, kick butt and win. More than likely, Shawn is going to have it waiting after the tournament because he's on top of his game and his people are already making these lists based on the competitive list. And you'll be able to go in there and say, you know what? I love that paint job. It's the rusted Necron paint job.
Right.
The army's built exactly like the last winning tournament list. And it's in a bag, it's in custom foam, it's on the shelf, it's in a box ready to ship to you in Kansas City.
And that would be the ultimate.
Yeah.
We're going to start with 1,500 points, and then people can custom pick up
from there
whatever.
too. Yeah.
But you see the army. That's the ideal. You pick your army out. You know exactly what it's going to look like. Theoretically, if you overnighted it, it could be there the next day. The next day.
Yeah. It's like your friend selling you an army at his house, and you're able to see it and pick it and get exactly what you want, and you don't have to wait. There's no fiddling around. There's no building. There's no ordering your models from this place or that place and assembling it and doing all this, which some people want to do. That's part of the hobby, but other people just want to kick some butt.
Right.
Now, will there be varying levels to these pre-made armies, or is it
Yeah,
going to be
actually,
across the board?
well, you can't vary the level if it's already made.
Right.
That has to be custom. But for the Infinity Special we're running right now, which is 3-week limit to get it done, and that actually does give options for levels.
That's
and
awesome.
typically custom does. You can, right now the spreadsheets that we have for quotes, which by the way you don't have to fill out spreadsheets, someone will do it for you if you find that to be an onerous task. Is that there are drop down cells in them now, so you can adjust it and it'll adjust the painting cost. Oh, it is nice.
Yeah.
James done a good job with that.
Yeah. So I mean, if you guys are looking for new options, something fun, something exciting. I mean, this is one of those
awesome.
cool.
It's like a
industry
giant
things.
infomercial.
No, it's great though. But I mean,
No, that's great. There's
this
nothing
is
that's part of the industry.
one of the biggest. I think. Wouldn't you agree with me on this? One of the biggest services we do for our industry and for our listeners. God bless you for still listening to us after all these years of terrible radio. But what you guys do that's awesome is that you look for us as a reliable source of information and at least
right direction.
Pointing you to places where you didn't know a service or an option or an item was available. And it is a shameless plug, sure, but at the same time, people are looking for things like this because I know I don't have the time to paint the things I want to play, and if this was available, which now it is,
right,
I would take advantage of it because I want to walk into Walmart and pick up a Grey Knights list because I got a hair in my butt that says I want to play Grey Knights and Smash.
Yeah.
And now I can do it.
I
And it's
also
great to
think
have
so.
it.
I've been doing a lot of gaming up at the GW store, and a lot of the kids
Thanks,
that come in.
man.
I'm at your shop too. Don't
Thanks,
like
bro.
yours.
I'm just saying.
Jeez. A lot of the kids that come in, they don't seem to be into painting as much.
right.
And so I think you might see a lot of kids going that route where they say, "Oh, great, I can call Blue Table. I love the game. I love the universe, but I
hate silver models.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want. I
They're
don't
going
want
to
sit
need
down and
multiple paper routes.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
paint. Right. Well, and that may be the case, but
Yeah,
it
there's
all
the
spends the
expense.
same, right?
There's
So-
no matter what you do, there's an expense to play this game.
Right.
It's either time or it's money. So,
And you have to ask yourself this too. I mean, this is something I always felt is a testament to well-painted miniatures. Is that a person who spends, let's just go round numbers here. A person that spends $1,000 on an army and does one of two things with it, doesn't paint it. It's never going to grow in value. It's more than likely going to, when you decide to sell it on eBay or wherever, it's going to bring you back 40 to 60% of that value, and that's if it's popular. So this is a gray army that's just been assembled. So you're talking about taking a 50% hit on your investment. That's $500 you've lost out the door. If you paint it yourself, you have your money. You have your time that is worth some money to you that you need to calculate in that $1,000 that you've spent. So let's say you're really fast and you just have a job that doesn't pay very well. So your time and money isn't as relevant as somebody that works a lot and gets paid a lot.
right.
The point is, let's say your time and money value is $500. Well, now that army that you've painted cost you $1,500, technically. If you sell that army, again, you may get, now if it's a well-done paint job, 40% off of your initial value. So maybe now it's worth $900 that you'll get back.
That actually sounds
Fair.
about like eBay.
About eBay, right?
Right.
So if that's the case, you have still lost money, but you've also lost time,
Right.
which you can't have
Oh,
back.
can I point something out?
Mhm.
Is that you also have to make an initial investment in the hobby to learn how to do it.
How to do it,
You're
exactly.
not born knowing how to assemble and paint.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
now you have to learn this new skill.
Right.
And anyway, go ahead and make your point.
And the
Sorry.
other thing about it is, if you are a bad painter, and you've spent $1,000 on the army,
Right.
and you've wasted the time that you were assuming is a $500 value of time wasted, and the army is painted poorly, that percentage could be 60 and 75% off.
Oh, it can
of
go
your-
even lower.
or lower.
actually.
So now you're maybe selling this army for $300.
Right.
So you've lost all the time, you've lost 70% of your initial investment, and you were in the same place when you started, without any army, without anything cool in your life. When you go to a service like Shawn's Blue Table Painting, the advantage is you save the time, which means you save the money, but you reinvest that money into a professionally done army that will fetch you a lot more later on if you choose to sell it than you could have ever really done on your own.
Ooh, and I allow people to use our pictures as reference.
There you go.
That they can come back and say, I picked this army from Blue Table Painting. By the way, here's pictures.
Yeah.
So now you don't got to take pictures with your camera.
Even
phone,
better, right?
You know,
And so
which
you
is
get
what
professional
kills
photography.
value.
Yeah,
Kills the value of an army.
exactly.
Is bad presentation,
Yeah.
which we talked about
Can-
last night.
Can we please, just
Yeah.
for anybody on eBay, guys, don't ever take a picture with your army on the kitchen table. And please, guys, I've seen this more often than not, where somebody will take a beautiful army, even a good army, even a subpar army, and they'll put it on a checkered kitchen table cloth,
Right,
or on a plaid, or on something, and you can't see anything.
right.
It looks like Where's Waldo on this thing. So, save yourselves the trouble, and by no means, I mean, both of us are painters.
White backgrounds.
White backgrounds,
White, lots of light.
If you want to do a scenic thing, do a scenic picture to give your army flavor, but then do white background of the detail shots to really show off what you got to sell. The thing about it, though, is Chad and I paint, and I feel we're good painters. People have told us we're good painters. But at the end of the day, there is still a place where this service is a must, even with our ability.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of bring that up. I wanted to say that, if you love the hobby, we're not advocating saying, no, don't hobby at all.
Right.
Don't
paint.
Not at all. Because, I love to hobby and I love to paint.
Do it for the joy.
But what's great about Shawn, and here's an example in my own life, I have a AdMech army. And I'm about to add probably 20 servitors to it, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to paint 20 servitors.
Nobody does.
I don't. I'll convert my awesome Magos and my obliterators and stuff, but guess who's getting those 20 servitors?
Yep.
Mr. Gately.
Is it me?
Not you personally.
So,
but someone in your office will see that.
I don't want to do those because I want to put my time and energy into what I love, which is the conversion, the concept, and developing that, and then painting that to high level.
Yeah.
I don't want to put time into 3 colors and a wash on these basic troop models that are going to get shot off the board by turn 3.
And the cool thing out there that's really neat too is for people that love the hobby and paint well and have the time and are willing to invest it, there's still nothing wrong with, and this is how I approached Blue Table Painting when I first did my first job with you.
Right.
I did Orcs, Imperial Guard first, and Orcs second.
Right.
These are all Hordes armies. I needed hundreds of miniatures painted. I wanted to paint. I knew how to paint. Like you said, I figured out how to paint your system to match it. There's nothing wrong with figuring out how to match your
By
armies.
the way, I am just giving Romeo a hard time.
I know.
There was no issue.
The thing about it was I was never going to paint these large amounts of miniatures myself. There's no time. So the thing about it is for guys out there that are on the fence about, well, I don't want to hire him to do my army. I want to do my army. There's nothing
do
that's
the fun stuff.
You do the fun stuff.
Do
your HQs, do your big tanks,
That
do
is
your
a
Forge
thing.
World Flyers. Get your stuff that you don't want to do the pain in the butt stuff. Even for skirmish games like War Machine and Hordes, which is a much smaller game, concentrate on your beasts, concentrate on your warcasts, your warlocks, and send in those 10, 20 line troops that it's the same repetitive, stupid stuff, Those are the things where a service like this becomes extremely valuable. And where Shawn, because of the speed, is not going to have you out, without your work.
Yeah, and the other thing too is with Shawn is the reliability, which I know is another thing that people really
I want to address
fret
this.
about with the commission painting thing, because I know I used to do commission painting stuff, and it was always, customers were always like, well, I'm not sure how I feel about sending my stuff out, across the country to someone I don't know. But with Shawn, he's got the full-on setup, right where he's
I have
at.
a front desk, regular business hours. We have 4 phone. When you call, 4 phones ring on 4 different desks, and someone picks up. And and if one guy has to go to lunch, he doesn't leave if there's not somebody else covering the phones there.
Wow.
And we have, I do believe it is 4 people that answer emails now too.
Yeah.
So, but this gets into a
Don't you
deeper
love
topic.
he owns a business and he says, I believe 4
I believe
people.
what?
4 people answer emails.
It does get a bit like Frankenstein's monster. Well, where you don't know every single detail of what's going on. You've set it up.
Though. That's okay.
You hired good people,
That's
but
what it's like.
quite frankly, and so. But this gets to a deeper issue, which I'm hoping will introduce our next topic, if you're willing. Which is, where is the industry going?
Sure.
And I think it bears closer examination of because we're only entering the golden age of miniatures battles. The actors have yet to really take the stage for this. We assume it's set in stone because there's one large company that's kind of been around for a long time, and that is kind of like almost like a gravitic force. That
I'd say
is
it's more
doing
the
it all.
changing of the
But
guard. I would.
the big
An equaling of the guards.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's happening is people like Romeo, people like myself, we are chopping some pretty savage jungle. Like no one's done this before. And the commission painting industry wasn't an industry.
Right.
I would dare say to some extent I've pioneered it.
Sure.
And there's been other people, but so my concern is if the industry isn't well served, if consumers as a whole are not well served by whatever the emerging model is, then it actually damages the whole system, which you've talked about in terms of like online retailing. When we were talking about that later. Is there an actor that's going to damage the system as a whole, and how does that work? And oh man, we were talking about like the morality of consumer demand,
right?
And so anyway, I just wanted to say, you like that?
No,
I didn't let you.
No,
didn't let you get started.
Get in there. I'm not gonna cut you
No,
off.
I've been listening politely. You have no idea how hard that is for me. That. Oh, now I lost my train of thought. Okay,
perfect. See how I did that?
Oh,
it's my secret.
Darn it! Curse you, brain!
Shawn's like a
can't
goldfish.
hold the thought for more than 20 seconds.
You throw some bait at the top. He'll go and get it. He'll forget where he's swimming before.
Forget where I was going.
No, the thing about that Shawn brings up is that there is a changing of the guards where originally one large company dealt with everything. They were the know-it-all of the industry. Your painting was all presented to you from a white door, for instance, and that was the only way to paint, and that was the only system that made sense, and that was the only, the EV metal team, God bless them, was the only team that could paint really well, and that was kind of the industry standard for a long time. Remember green bases? Everybody had fluorescent green bases, and that with a little flock on top, and that's what
flock was like. Hey, you really
legit.
went the extra mile.
Man, you put glue, you put Elmer's on top of that, and drop some grass on it. You're crazy.
I'm going to say though too is that who we're talking about, they've also changed the way they
of
approach
course
things. But what's happened is that now a lot of other people have stepped up
and finding tricks and things.
And so there's really just a vast array of options out there. GW is still updating and doing new things, and that's great, and they always will. But now we have a lot of other guys who are free thinking and not afraid to get up there and get their stuff out, which is awesome. There's so much out there now.
We talked about grass. One very good example of the leader of the industry 10 years ago is no longer the leader in coming up with these inventive ideas, which is the grass tufts. They're called tufts, the little pre-cut little peel-off. Kuman You're Not launched that through a partner that actually came up with it more or less, and launched it at Adepticon 2 years ago as a product you can buy on Kuman You're Not's website. And those guys made that so awesome, and so many people were using pre-done tuff that GW said, oh my god, our buckets of grass that you would put a dab of glue in and stuff in there and try to get it to porcupine up wasn't cool anymore, so then now they have tuft. But that's an example of an industry leader.
Is there a tuft manufacturer out there?
There is.
Factory?
Yeah, there's people that make tufts for a living. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so but I mean, again, that's an industry, a revolutionary industry thing that came out and was introduced into miniature wargaming, which then became a cultural thing. Now, big companies that normally lead the way are following and offering it. So, I think what Shawn's trying to get to is that what he's doing and what he's done in 5 years has kind of opened the doors for a lot of companies, open studios, to really focus their lives on painting, because there's a lot of miniatures out there, there's a lot of gaming out there. If Shawn was booked for the next 2 years to the door, there would still be hundreds of people that don't have Armies painted that still need them painted.
The demand is huge.
It's insane.
Just my estimate is that just to assemble and paint all the miniatures, for only the segment that I predict would want the service if they knew about it and had it reliably and clearly presented to them, is probably 3,000 to 4,000 people.
Yeah.
And I now have 28. So we're just starting to fence off market share right now. And I just wanted to make a note, which is when you enter the jungle, you have to do so with some humility. And I know Romeo feels this. That he's like, Shawn, don't say anything stupid. Don't drag me down.
No, I'm okay.
No, you have to. I understand that next week, it could dry up.
Right.
That I had better be improving my game every day.
Every day.
Or some young hotshot is going to rip me to shreds.
Right.
And I can tell you, looking me in the eye, that Blue Table Painting, it's every day or almost every day that we are meeting, we are talking, we are finding better ways to do it. And I've created Frankenstein's monster now. I walked into the conference room, I'm like, the conference room door is closed, what's going on? I go in, there's 4 of my people in there. and they've got like sketches and stuff out on the table, and they're like, oh yeah, we came up with this pod system of painting, and I'm like, what? They got an overview shot, they got like a 3D shot, and they had come up with like this revolutionary new way of organizing this to meet the demand, which is a problem we've had.
Right.
Most successful companies come into too much demand, which is odd. You just can't keep up, and then you're a little behind, and you just kind of have to take your lumps and swallow the horse pill and get by it. But anyway, I go in, and my people are actually, it's taken off a lot, and it just made me so proud that there were people in my company who were so quality conscious, that took such pride and satisfaction in their work, that they were taking the initiative to go out and find new and better ways of doing things. And it was really amazing.
I mean, you bring up a good point, is that if you are at any point an industry leader, GW's going through it right now. They fell asleep at the wheel for a minute for the last 2 years. They stumbled on a few things, and other companies have come up quickly and picked up that stumble. And no, GW is still the leader. You know, GW still has the biggest market share. GW is still leading the way with technology and beautiful models and all these things.
But what's great about the stumble is it creates new.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what's awesome.
You know, people complained for the longest time that GW would take forever to update models. They would take forever to get to new factions. You would see 2-3 releases a year. You now see new releases every month. And why did that happen? Because their competitors were doing releases every month. And they were putting out, you know, you look at Privateer Press, they put out all their faction books in a year for 11 factions.
Yeah, they came out fast.
Insane fast.
Right.
It was something GW hadn't done in 10 years. You know, with their one, more or less 2 codexes a year revamped by then.
Still in black and white.
Yeah, you know, rulebook in black and white. You know, these kind of things. And what the stumble did is it woke them up. So you raise the point of, if you're an industry leader today, are you going to be an industry leader tomorrow, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Right. And if you don't work hard, you aren't going to be. So at Battlefoam, we're the same way. We constantly have to release new things, update our product line, fix problems, listen to our customers, correct issues with quality.
You guys come out with a lot of new stuff. Like every time I turn around, this game came out, this army came out, or whatever it is, you've got it.
The wildest thing about it is when we got into Battlefoam, I looked at it and I said to myself, where can this go? And we thought, okay, 3 bags. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, we got a small, a medium, and a large. That's pretty much our window. We'll just sell the crap out of those. And we'll just offer foam. We have 29 bags now.
Right.
You know, with 7
They're
launching.
handsome.
And 7, the Black Label just launched. Our hard case, hard shell, you know, cases that just launched. The whole new spectrum we weren't even thinking about 2 years ago. But you bring up the point. Leaders today may not be leaders tomorrow, and that's why this hobby and these people that are sitting at home thinking, oh, well, I should do bases. I should make terrain. I should, you know, create these cool things. Don't sit on those ideas. Do it.
Right.
Just do those things and get partnered up with good, successful companies, either for advice or partnerships. Work together. Stay away from other people's ideas. And I don't say that, you know, specifically to others, but do revolutionary things and you'll succeed.
Oh, I was just going to point out that Valhalla has to do with that as well. Next year, we're hoping to have all industry leader Valhallas, where they don't, at this time, right, you got to be careful, limited time only, while supplies last.
Yeah.
Where they come out, we put everybody up, and we have a mini convention / vacation, because we went to Adepticon, and I realized that if I condensed down that experience, I only spent like 5 or 10 minutes really talking to certain people, maybe 20 minutes, and they were so busy. There were like so many people coming by the booth, you didn't really get to talk to them. And in this environment, like I said, Romeo and I were up 3 hours straight just talking. And can I tell you?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here it comes. He's humble about it.
Oh
but
boy.
first off, along the lines of
Flames are coming.
along the lines of humility, which is you could be destroyed at any second. If you're going to have a successful company, guess what? Be ready to be wrong and to learn new things. And that's what's got me by. My special superpower is being wrong. I can actually eat a slice of humble pie and take new advice and new ideas.
Yeah.
And last night, I got schooled by Romeo Philippe in business. No, it was awesome. It was like he was giving me gold nuggets, but he was giving them to me by throwing them at my skull. And no, it was great. He was like, let me just give you one example. He's like, Shawn, do you have a professional quality 30-second commercial spot that you can put out on these various shows or whatever? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, you need one. Why don't you have one? Shawn, you need to get serious and not, you know, and I am serious, but there are always new things you can learn, and that's why I'm loving the way that we're approaching Valhalla right now, which is have out its industry leaders, some or all of the tickets, and guess what? You can be virtually guaranteed that after 4 days, you are going to walk away with a sack, an absolute sack full of fantastic ideas. New ideas.
Yeah. You know, Shawn, this is funny, Chan. Shawn's like a nuclear-powered cell, right? He's got all this energy and these ideas, right? Inexhaustible energy, right? Nuclear power. With nuclear power, you can either put it inside an aircraft carrier and power it for 50 years,
or destroy countries,
or you can put it in a field somewhere and nuke the whole place. So we're gonna make sure that you put it.
I'd like to say hi to any federal agents that are listening in on my communications right now.
All we did for Shawn is tell him to put his nuclear power
hello,
into his
Agent
battleship.
Johnson and Agent Carey. I really hope you and the family are doing well.
So
much appreciated.
Real quick, so not to bore you guys with all this business talk, but
no, this is great. People, what are you talking about?
You think they care?
Are you people bored? You
the
can't
masses
possibly
are screaming.
be bored.
There are people are
talk
honking
about
on their
something.
cars. Yes, move on.
Change the subject. But don't worry. Later on, further down in the show, we're going to cover some more interesting topics. We're going to talk about religion.
Oh yes.
Politics.
Women's
racism, women's rights, and gun control. So
next.
we'll be covering those later in the program. So definitely stay tuned.
After the breakout, we're gonna
What do you
start
want to
on
bet some
religion
people
first.
will actually start commenting on that stuff, and there will be minor explosions.
We all have our own opinion on all those topics that we can't wait to share with you guys.
That we definitely.
Oh my goodness. Let me set the scene though, so you guys that are driving and just listening and haven't got a chance to check out the YouTube channel. By the way, Blue Table Painting.
This will be on my YouTube channel.
Check out Shawn's YouTube channel, Blue Table Painting.
We are 50 feet above the forest floor in the pines
with a brook
on a deck.
This
giant deck.
So we did an area mic here on purpose. So I don't know if you guys can hear it. Let's be quiet for 1 second if this is possible. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can hear that, but
it's a river.
That low roar you hear is a beautiful river, more than maybe 100 feet down this cliff that this house is perched on. All of it's wood. It's made out of these beautiful.
It's like 2 foot, tree trunks.
Tree trunks, yeah, 2 foot wide round tree trunks supporting the structure. This thing is 4 stories, 5 stories tall?
Yeah, 4 stories tall.
4 stories tall, with gaming tables on each floor, by the way. Let me just throw that out there. With a massive fireplace that's easily 15 feet tall.
It's got 3 fireplaces.
But
we're hitting this one up tonight.
Yeah.
And we're roast s'mores. That's what we have. And we've got s'mores. Come out for s'mores, folks.
There's the hot tub.
Right.
And the
But the scene right now where we're sitting.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
amazing.
To give you guys an idea of what if you go to the video on YouTube, you'll see this video and this interview, so you get an idea exactly what this place looks like. It is enchanting. It's retarded. I mean, if I wasn't married and I was not straight, I would be kissing you right now. It's that romantic, this place, for gaming fun.
That's fantastic.
It's a wonderful, awesome place. And at the end of the day, we're just happy to be here, kicking our feet up, and being able to talk shop. So I will send you a bill for chapstick, because my lips are killing me from all this chatterbox
you got
we're
it.
doing.
1 tube of chapstick.
1 tube of chapstick.
$1.63.
I should be paying you for all the business advice. Can I just tell you, folks? I got like 10 new awesome ideas. Now, some of them I had already been percolating, and now I just kind of have that inspiration to go do it. Percolating. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Okay, but I have a special message.
Okay.
I now have a special message. A message for Romeo's wife.
Oh, shoot.
I want you to know that your husband is an absolute genius.
Oh, stop it. See, now
a man of integrity and who
hate you,
really,
Jay,
and
throw
I'm
up.
going to go so far as to say he is wise. He's a wise man, and anybody would
Shawn-
do well to
Shawn-
listen to him.
Shawn
You're
is
gonna
not.
stop him quick.
If
Yeah.
anything,
He's out of control.
Yeah.
Romeo's wife should really just kind of
maybe.
listen to him more.
See what I'm gonna do, Shawn. Here. What I'm gonna do, Shawn.
I just hosed
Thank
you.
High five.
Yeah, you
What I'm gonna do
bet.
is I'm actually gonna edit this out, this portion, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Did I just
replay it.
troll Romeo's wife?
No, this
right
is
now?
great because
Right?
I'm gonna play this on this show for an hour and put it in her car and just have her listen
Yeah,
to
just
that
loop it.
same
He
message.
is so wise.
Oh, this is.
Oh, can I tell you a story? You're gonna love this.
I have a message. Some
yeah,
story.
go
I have
ahead.
a,
Okay,
I have a sticker on my door that I put up for my wife because she always comes in and argues with me every day at work. And I don't know if everybody knows we work together every day, every minute. There's a message that says, "If I agreed with you, we'd both be wrong." So that is the perfect
Oh, that's
prelude
nice.
to that message you gave.
So,
Love you, Jama.
my grandmother, and she is old and wise. She comes out for a vacation with me and my wife. So I'm like, Grandma, what life advice would you give me? If you could say one thing. She looks at me, she says, Shawn, make sure you keep your teeth. Take good care of your teeth. Don't get dentures.
Yeah.
And she turns to my wife, unbidden now, and she says, my advice to you is obey your husband.
Oh man.
Wow. Good job, Grandma.
Right? But chow. End of story. That
Oh
was
my
the
God.
punchline.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, that'll be covered in our feminist rights.
Needless to
in the
say,
next-
that's not happening.
That's after the break.
Right, you guys were just setting up that marital counseling thing, right?
We are,
That's
yeah.
right. We
yeah,
were actually
yeah.
going to give advice to recently married men.
That's right. That'll be part of the.
Here's
main
my
subject.
advice: don't remember any of the mistakes you made. There's no reason for two people to remember the same thing.
That's awesome.
It's true, because guess what? I'm like, seriously, you're gonna bring that? That was like 12 years
Yeah,
ago.
the wife never forgets.
And she's
Your
oh
server
yeah,
is just never
she's
melted.
still
Oh, yeah.
like it's still a news item. People must know
we
that
have
I sold her $500 Dooney and Burke purse that her best friend gave her at
On
a
eBay.
garage sale for
Oh.
50 cents.
Jesus.
Right?
Oops.
I think that's the
It
worst
had zero
thing I've
value for
ever
you.
done.
It had zero
Yeah,
value.
well, she said she leaves one day. She's like, Shawn, clean the garage, please.
Yeah.
She's polite. She's nice when she asks me to do things, just like a good marriage should be, civil.
Civil.
So she says, would you please be so kind as to clean the garage? And I'm like, sure thing, honey. And so she leaves,
Oh, it's clean.
and I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Shawn, you're a genius. you can just start selling it all,
Yeah.
and then she'll come home. I'm imagining that she's going to throw her arms around me and give me a big old kiss.
Thanks for the money.
Because yeah,
That's
I've
so
got like
great.
$300 there.
Yeah.
And no, I sold things that, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
A bag of like $200 worth of craft stuff, $2.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, it's
Oh.
just old craft stuff. Here you go. Yeah,
Jama
it was-
has
it was
a
no good.
has a very. Here we are. We're talking about wives. We'll
Yeah, let's
we'll
do
touch
it.
on feminist rights in a minute. But,
That's right. Later on in the
later on
show,
in the tune in.
women's rights.
But Jama has a very unique little trait she does, and God bless her, she's the only one that cleans the house. I don't do that. I clean enough toilets in the military to last me my entire
Wow.
life. So
If you come to the Battlefoam corporate office and you see Romeo's office,
yeah.
it's, let me put it
That's
this way.
what it
You
looks
know what it
like.
looks like?
It's phenomenal.
It looks like somebody took a dump truck filled with miniatures
Yeah.
and put them in there, and then put a brick of TNT in
Yeah.
the mound of miniatures and
Hold
exploded,
on,
and it went
and-
everywhere.
And 3 trash bags from local fast food
There's
restaurants.
no, I don't eat fast food.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Okay.
no,
I'm
forget
ready.
that. Look at the slim trim. Come on now. Not so
okay.
much.